In the early spring of 1917, a man sits at a small desk on a train stopped in the middle of a snowy void. He signs a piece of paper with one stroke of a pen. 300 years of a family name and 1,000 years of an idea simply stop. But to understand why the ink had to dry, we have to go back to the moment the sword was first pulled from the stone. History calls it Russia, but in the beginning, it was just a collection of warring tribes, terrified of the dark forests and the open steppe. They were a people who realized they couldn't rule themselves. So, they invited a stranger to do it for them. Rurik was a Viking, a Varangian. He didn't come to build a playground. He came to build a fortress. His successor, Oleg, looked south and saw Kiev. Vladimir looked up and saw God specifically, the Orthodox God of the Byzantines. They were building a Rus, a unified identity. But unity has a gravity. It attracts giants. In 1240, the Golden Horde arrived. For 2 centuries, the Rus was a slave state to the Mongols. Survival meant becoming more brutal than the occupier. The princes of Moscow learned this lesson best. They became the Mongols' tax collectors. They grew rich on the misery of their neighbors. Ivan the Terrible took that wealth and forged a crown. His assumption was simple. To keep Russia together, the Tsar must be a monster. He crushed the nobles. He expanded to the Pacific. He won. But he killed his only worthy heir in a fit of rage. By 1598, the victory of the Tsars had led to a hollow shell. The Rurikid line was dead. Famine ate the peasants. Neighbors invaded. This was the time of troubles. The audience expects Russia to vanish here to be absorbed by Poland or Sweden. They are wrong. Out of the ash, a new name emerges, Romanov, and with them, a giant named Peter. Peter the Great realizes the old assumption brutality for the sake of survival is no longer enough. Now, the stakes are relevance. If Russia does not become Europe, it will be eaten by Europe. He builds a city on a swamp, St. Petersburg, paved with the bones of 100,000 serfs. He forces men to shave their beards and ships to sail the Baltic. Catherine the Great follows, turning a medieval backwater into an Enlightenment superpower. Russia is now a titan, but it is a titan built on a lie that you can have a modern empire supported by medieval slaves. Napoleon tries to break the machine in 1812. He finds only fire. Russia wins again. But the soldiers who marched to Paris came back seeing a different world. They saw liberty. The stakes mutate again. It's no longer about land or status. It's about the people. 1881. Alexander II, the man who finally freed the serfs, is blown apart by a bomb. In that moment, the bridge between the Tsar and the people is incinerated. The irreversible decision is made. The monarchy will retreat into total repression. Nicholas II, a man who loved his family but feared his country, inherits a powder keg. The Great War provides the spark. Millions of dead, no bread. The man on the train signs the paper. The external resolution, the monarchy falls. The internal resolution, the Russian soul stops looking to a father and starts looking to a system. The Bolsheviks rise not as a new government, but as a new religion. They promised the end of the Tsars, but as the red flag rose over the Kremlin, The ghost of Ivan the Terrible must have smiled, because in Russia, the more things change, the more they remain forged in the same cold iron.